What's up, guys? I'm DK, and today I'm going to be doing a top 10 list of my favorite Funko Pops that were announced in the month of February 2026. Now, not gonna lie, it was actually a pretty decent month. I don't think it was as good as January, but so far it's been better than a lot of what we had in 2025. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Reviewed by DK, a channel where I review things in the realm of pop culture, collectibles, and food. And if you like one or any of the three things that I review on this channel, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But nonetheless, let's kick off this list with number 10. Coming in at number 10 on my list is the Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive Superman from DC Comics. I really like the way that this pop looks. Of course, it is Clark Kent as he's taking off his suit and turning into Superman, which is not too often that we've actually had this posing of Superman. I believe at one point it was the Smallville lineup of pops that actually had something similar to this, but now it's for the regular Superman lineup, which definitely makes sense, not only because of the success of the James Gunn Superman movie that released last year, but the upcoming Supergirl movie that releases, I believe, in March. So it is capitalizing on those properties, and I think the way they did this is awesome, especially even though I usually don't like this when it comes to newer Funko Pops, is the speech bubble effect where it says, "This looks like a job for ... Superman." And I think what also makes this a great pop is the fact that it is a part of the limited edition lineup, more specifically the legendary sections. I believe it's somewhere in that 1,500 piece range. Number 9 on my list is also an Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive, being Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate. Don't really know too much about Baldur's Gate, but I can really appreciate the detail in this pop to why it should be on the list. Especially, once again, just like the Superman pop, it is a limited edition legendary pop that is around that 1,500 piece range. And the detail is pretty cool with the outfit and of course the weapon of choice within this character. And I know that there is a ton of hype with this because of the fact that it is a limited piece count and it's a sought after character for this set, to the point where someone even commented, "Oh, why are you making this a limited piece count?" And then Funko even reacted to the comments saying, "You complain when we don't make piece counts, but then you still complain if we do," or at least along the lines of that's been making headlines across social media. Coming in at number 8 on my list is the Caged Mouse from Mousetrap. Now, this is an excellent choice for the retro toys lineup, and I like the way that they did execute about this, where of course you not only have the mouse, but literally the trap that goes with it, the whole point of the game. They did a really great job of how this is executed, and to the point where I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, this is a regular 4-inch pop, but feels like what Funko is doing nowadays, being a plus or a premium. Even though it's not as detailed as the two previous pops I mentioned on this list, it is that nostalgic personal reaction that this pop got out of me to why it is higher on the list and would be more likely for me to grab. Number 7 on my list is the Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive Frankie with Black Rhino rides from One Piece. Now, most people probably already knew about this before it got announced because it was the leaked pop that got revealed, and I think the detail of this pop is really awesome. Usually Funko, when it comes to One Piece pops, do a great job anyways, but the thing I really like about this compared to a lot of pop rides is the proportion between the size of the figure and the box space. Number 6 on my list is the Toy Temple exclusive Lightning McQueen from Cars. Now, already I'm a pretty big fan of Pixar movies, and I really like the idea that Funko is diving back into making Cars pops. It feels like it's been definitely at least 10 years since the last time I saw a Cars the movie Funko Pop. And so this one's really awesome from, I believe it's supposed to be Cars 3, if I'm not mistaken. The way that I remember this is the mud track scene in the third movie where he competes in that race. I think this is where it's based off of, and I love the detail with the mouth and of course the dirt around not only the body of the car, but the tires as well. And it also doesn't surprise me because I believe Cars does celebrate its 20th anniversary for the first movie this year, so I feel like you should be able to expect more Cars the movie Funko Pops, probably even one happening for, like, let's say San Diego or New York Comic-Con. Number 5 on this list is Mephiles from Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I'm not sure if I actually pronounced that correctly, but what I can appreciate with this is the amount of detail that is put into this pop, with not only the color aspect, but the intricate details within the body of this. I think maybe my only gripe when it comes comes to this is with the colors that are involved, maybe it would work out better with the glow-in-the-dark specification, but I think the reason that I put this above the Lightning McQueen pop is because it's a part of the limited edition lineup, which will be limited to 3,500 pieces, classifying as a royalty pop. So I think adding that limited piece count, unlike the Lightning McQueen that's just a regular exclusive to a retailer, is why it's one spot up. Number 4 on my list is the Blue Eyes White Dragon Pop Premium from Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, although we've had many different versions of the Blue Eyes Duel Monsters, like the OG Blue Eyes White Dragon with its silver variant that was a box lunch exclusive, there's the different Blue Eyes Toon Dragons we've had, but now we have a newer version, and I really like the concept that we have, where it's basically coming out of the card, and you actually do see how much it is for the attack and how much it is for defense when you're actually playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. And I'll mention a little bit more about why I like these certain pops when I talk about perhaps the next 1 or 2 spots on this list.
Shout out goes to the unacceptable viewer.
And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and short that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. Number 3 on my list is the Red Eyes Black Dragon Pop Premium from Yu-Gi-Oh! Now this pop looks really awesome. Prior to this pop, we've only had one variant of Red Eyes Black Dragon from the second wave of Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops, and already that pop is pretty cool. But if you never obtained that pop previously and you were thinking, should I get one or the other, and you didn't want to get both, I would definitely recommend getting this version because the details that are added to this one compared to the original one, the red lightning base that comes with the card, and then of course the blast that's about to come out of the mouth of Red Eyes Black Dragon. They did such a great job with this, and especially I don't know what the price point is going to be yet. Number 2 on my list is the Dark Magician Pop Premium from Yu-Gi-Oh! I know it might be a little bit exhausting hearing 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops back to back to back on this list. However, with those 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Pops, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! Being a set that I collect pops for, doesn't make sense to not include a pop that I'm planning to get, and if I'm planning on getting it, then it should be higher up on the list, unlike some of the ones I've mentioned. What I mentioned earlier about some added details onto this pop is that if you actually take it out of the box, you can actually see that on the back of the stand, it shows the description of the duel monster as shown on the card, which I think is so amazing because this has me tempted on displaying this in box, but maybe actually displaying it out of the box to show off those details that you can't see while it's in the box. And like usual, before I mention my number 1 pick for my favorite Funko Pop of the month, it's time to mention 3 honorable mentions. The first honorable mention on my list are the rest of the set of Baldur's Gate pops. Now overall, Baldur's Gate, which I think is kind of tied to Dungeons and Dragons if I'm not mistaken, they're fairly detailed pops, and it makes sense if it is tied to Dungeons and Dragons because those pops already for the most part are fantastic when it comes to the detail. But I felt I knew I wasn't going to add multiple pops because I don't know Baldur's Gate that well, and especially with the one already on this list being a limited piece count, it made sense that that would have been the pop to add to this list. The second honorable mention on my list are the FIFA 26 mascot pops. I love me some mascot pops. I think they do a great job with them, whether it is FIFA, NHL, NFL, NBA, and I think this is one of those cases of I thought about adding one of them to the list, but which one do I add? And usually when I'm in these scenarios, I just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna make them all honorable mentions because I consider adding it, I just couldn't decide which one I should have added to the list. And the last honorable mention on my list is the Todd and Copper moments from The Fox and the Hound. Now, I really like Funko diving into movies like The Fox and the Hound for Funko Pops, but the reason I didn't add this onto the list is exactly what I mentioned about the Frankie Pop and what it's actually fixed the problem with, and that is the amount of box space that you can definitely tell in the glam shot that it has, where you're going to be paying a lot for this Moments being around, I believe, 25 or 30 USD, just for the sake of the box space rather than the size of the actual Moments that may benefit more for being a plus or a premium. Number 1 on this list, the Specialty Series exclusive Flocked Lotso from Toy Story. Of course, if you've watched this channel for a while, you kind of expect this was going to be my number 1 because Toy Story is my number 1 set of pops I collect. Let me know your top 10 list down below, but thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video.